Building for effective engagement. Designing and facilitating learner-centered learning. With online learning becoming more and more popular through education, at the elementary, secondary, higher education, and professional levels, educators and e-learning designers must find ways to maintain a learner-centered approach to instruction. New technologies can easily overwhelm us with endless opportunities for integration. For this reason, we must address a key question that puts the learner at the forefront of an online learning opportunity. How can we design and build the best learner-centered e-learning programs? This question stems from a few other concerns that arise from online learning, such as, I am concerned that the e-learning I am building will be too boring. And, will it be engaging enough to be effective? And lastly, how do I improve overall learning for online classes? We're going to be identifying the methods to combat these concerns. There are many combinations of methods and techniques that will make up an online learning design. In order for the design to stay effectively learner-centered, there are specific strategies that can be followed. We will illustrate 5 strategies that can be utilized to make e-learning more engaging and effective for the learner in an online learning course. The first strategy is to increase visual interest. Designing the learning material can be a great way to help motivate the learners for a course. The use of videos, graphics, photography, and animations can help engage learners in the content. For example, when you create a PowerPoint presentation without a theme, the presentation does not look very appealing and it could be pretty uninteresting and boring to look at. In turn, there's a good chance that the information presented will not be absorbed by the audience. Adding colors, images, and more visual representations of the content will increase the odds of keeping the audience's attention, and it will encourage memory retention. The second strategy is utilizing microlearning. Microlearning is promoting the learning of small portions of material at a time. So instead of trying to teach a ton of items at once, using more slides and emphasizing bite-sized pieces of information will help the learner retain more information and retain that information better. This can also be thought of as chunking. You are ensuring that the learners understand certain content before exposing them to more, which may be more detailed or more complicated. A practical example of the strategy is when you are learning to dance. You would not try to learn a full dance routine in one take. Instead, you chunk the moves by learning 4 counts at a time. This chunking method and micro-learning method prevents learners from becoming too overwhelmed. It also helps keep modules and learning objectives clearly organized online, and it creates ease for mobile access. Strategy 3 is using story or scenario-based learning. Storytelling is an engaging way to motivate interest and stimulate creative ideas. Designing e-learning with scenarios and storytelling can accomplish several goals and actually be more flexible than traditional computer-based training. They can be designed for individual, self-paced stories, or they can be designed for team experiences. This type of strategy is great for corporate training as well. Corporations can simulate experiences, which can then be incorporated with assessments along the way. Other educational training environments, along with in corporate settings, can benefit from stories where the story moves along based on group decisions. These decisions can stimulate creative and group thinking. During the design process, goals and objectives need to be mapped out. The collection of stories and scenarios will incorporate challenges to meet goals and learning objectives during the outcomes of a learner's decisions. The thinking and processing to make decisions helps drive the recall needed from previous experiences and trainings. The fourth strategy is gamification. Learning content can be more engaging if it is presented like a game. Students enjoy challenges in the form of a game as they drive motivation to earn points, make it to new levels, and achieve badges. This also encourages students to stay focused and improve learning recall. When using gamification, you want to make sure to define the goals and objectives needed throughout the game. Also, The objectives can be in the form of mini challenges, which can eventually lead to achievements and badges. Activities and specific items can be given scores, and there can be a leaderboard to help students stay accountable for their achievements. Because these games often have analytical data processes embedded in them, there are numerous levels at which students can work that best fit their personal needs. Overall, gamification allows for the incorporation of microlearning by having learners earn points and find themselves on leaderboards as they navigate the game. Also, gamification allows for an instructor to personalize learner goals, which can help them earn individual badges and achievements. And lastly, gamification allows for individual work or for team collaboration. Teams can be set up within gamification programs as well. Speaking of collaboration, strategy 5 is to integrate social learning activities. Not all online or e-learning courses need to be asynchronous, as there are methods to incorporate social learning activities so learners can participate in online group collaborations. By using technology programs such as Microsoft Teams, an e-learning course instructor can divide learners into teams to create social media groups, online forums, and e-learning blogs to encourage dialogue and peer-to-peer feedback. Within these groups, learners can also create online presentations. As students improve their comprehension, they can collaborate and share their experiences and skills. This example illustrates the different ways in which Microsoft Teams can be used to facilitate the tasks of a training group. Overall, with e-learning on the rise, educators and course designers must keep in mind the importance of maintaining learner-centered learning. Without the implementation of strategies like the ones we have discussed, learners may lose out on an engaging and effective learning experience. Check out some of these sources for more information.